big welcome to the show that puts the spotlight on people who know all about challenges but make the conscious choice every single day to not let their challenges define who they are at the very core of their beings. Our show today will be a fusion of stories and people that we are sure will inspire you. My name, of course, is Refiwe Mwilwa, and this is Bophelong. Before we get into things, don't forget our email address is bophelong@sabc.co.za, so please do share your thoughts with us. In a resurgent season which lured 24.3 million votes, 30-year-old Vincent Bones from Pietermaritzburg won the popular vote when he was announced the winner of the 10th season of South African Idols. An all-rounder of a musician, producer Nombuso Mahlangu got the privilege to sit in with him in his band during practice, and this is what they had to say about Mzansi's newest singing sensation.
He's a hard-working person, he's free-spirited, he's an easygoing person, and he makes sure that everything is on point. It's just an honor working with him. It's awesome being part of the team.
He's a very good person, very talented guy.
Won't you let me love you?
Vincent Bones, the man with silky vocals that had many viewers captivated from his very first audition, now holds the title of King of South African Idols Season 10. Bones wowed viewers and the judges when he performed covers of international music sensations such as John Legend, Migo, R. Kelly, and many more. Many called him a great musician even before he won. A true musical all-rounder, he plays the piano, drums, guitar, as well as the saxophone. Mastering his craft, much as it's clearly an innate talent, had always been important for Vincent, even before entering the reality show. But as a child who used music to escape his life of hardships, all of current achievements seemed like unattainable dreams he shouldn't have even dared to dream.
In a short space of time, I could say about 18 months, everybody passed away. No, my uncle started. His name was Derek. He passed away, and then I was left with my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, and then my mother followed. They said she died of cancer because I was very small, and then my aunt passed away last.
His unexpected loss and deep pain he felt led to Vincent acting irrationally.
It was a very tough thing for me. I didn't even think about it. I just landed up in a train that stopped in Pretoria. Got off the train, wandered probably half of the night, found some guys there. For me, I always think of it as it must be the grace of God, because how can strangers take another seat? Because I was small, I was like 11, 12, so they just decided, hey, one of the guys said, where are you going? Because they saw me walking around, the shops trying to, where are you going? It's dangerous here. And I told him my whole story, and then they just allowed me to camp for them, basically. When my folks passed away, I kind of, that's all I could think about. That's what made me just catch the train. And I said, it's one of those things, I didn't want to think about it. At that time, I don't think school was important for me. What's important for me was to get away from the situation.
While facing hard times on the streets of Sunnyside and Pretoria and wishing for a better tomorrow, deep down, Vincent had unwavering faith that his days on the streets would someday, somehow, come to an end.
Because I was a minor amongst the guys, so they took probably 3 of us from those guys to Itumeleng. What Itumeleng does, they kind of connected like street kids to homes that had facilities, schools, because they were just like a shelter. Seeing people, let's say a little boy with their father or with their family, ice cream, those kind of things. You look at it and you wonder how would it be if you had it. So those kind of things for me kept me alive, because I kept on dreaming that one day I will get there. One day I'll be like, everybody else.
He was then rescued from the streets to a home that had discipline and rules. The Boys Town orphanage in Randfontein was a silver lining in Vincent's clouds. He stayed there for 3 years, where they put him through school right until matric. Vincent will always be grateful for his safe haven.
I came from the streets, so I was a bit rough in terms of, manners and, following rules. So when I got to Boys Town, immediately they introduced us to rules. Immediately, there was all of a sudden time to sleep. There was chores that, we didn't have. And I struggled quite a lot in terms of like simple things that people would learn from a normal home. Like, I struggled very hard to say thank you. If it wasn't a boys' town, I don't think I would be the man that I am today, because now I started to see, okay, this is how actually life is supposed to work. There's rules in life, there's people that you need to think about, because, in the streets, you don't think about that, you think about you and, how you're going to survive for the day.
And this is where all his potential was unleashed and nurtured. This was the real beginning of his musical journey.
They had this old grand piano that was donated to Boys Town. And then I found myself going to that room more often, starting to like, what's this thing? I'm starting to neglect soccer now. When they want me, they knew I was in that room. I started teaching myself playing piano with 2 fingers. Well, that's how I started with music. So I started getting interested in piano, and then I started, singing at Boys Town.
Vincent's wife, Gillian Bones, his biggest supporter, came into his life like an angel after they met at church.
At our church, we didn't have a keyboard player, right? The pastor was asking, do you know this guy called Vincent? Because the artist that is supposed to perform here tonight is not coming. He dropped us last minute, so I need to get a keyboardist. And my friend said, you got Vincent's number? And I said, I don't know. She's like, no, I saved it. We called him and he came. And he came, and I remember I walked in on the rehearsal, greeted him, and then after that he came over to our house. And we just started talking, and that's where he started telling me his life story, and that was it.
She believed so much in Vincent's music career that she was the driving force to him entering Idol Season 10.
But the background he's coming from, people like him doesn't need anybody to break you down further. And I just felt that, if there's anybody that needs to encourage him right now in this time, it was me. I believed in him so much that he could take this. I believed in him. I had confidence that there's no way that he couldn't win this.
And because of the faith she had in him, Vincent entered Idols, not knowing this was the road he was predestined to journey.
I auditioned, I was nervous, I couldn't even sing properly. I was nervous, so I sang, and interesting enough, people were really, the judges were really interested in hearing what I had to say in terms of singing and stuff. Because I remember when I came in, Gareth said, let's see what you can do on that thing. That made me nervous. I'll never forget those words.
With their 1-year-old son in tow at all performances, Vincent's wife stood by him through all criticism and tough weeks of the competition.
I was there from the very first show. I was to come with my mom, my baby. Yeah. We used to be there every week, and we used to see confidence.
The pressure he went through was awaited by his glorious and magnificent win. Crowned Idol Season 10 winner was a celebration for his new-formed fans and family.
When he comes home, and we really enjoy being with him. He's a loving father, loving husband, and he makes us happy. He tries his best to put a smile on our face all the time.
And what an inspiring story. Again, a testament to the fact that no matter where you come from, it does not determine where you will end up. The music industry has an added gem in the form of an artist named Vincent Bones. After the break, we chat to 2 young guys who are blessed to have gotten it early in life, that sometimes all you need to succeed is to think beyond your current challenges. Join us after the break. Welcome back. You're tuned into Bophelong. Think Beyond is a philanthropic fraternity that uses inspirational rhetoric and pop culture to encourage and inspire the youth to become ambassadors of social transformation, become self-reliant, and also promote education. I'm here with the two founders of the group, Patrick, welcome, and Kumo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here, guys. So, what was it, that ignited the spark to start Think Beyond?
Well, just thinking beyond, really, because a lot of the times you have like challenges and stuff, and then you want to sort of get out of your certain situations, and sometimes the resources may not be there because of where you find yourself, and the only thing you have is your imagination. So the mother of all creation is your imagination. So the minute you start imagining it and try to find ways to get there. So that was the concept, and yeah.
Okay, but Kumo, I want to know specifically, personally, what was it for you? What challenges were you facing when you had this thing to say, okay, think beyond, regardless of whatever I'm facing, I can actually do and become more than I am right now?
To be honest with you, when Patrick and I met, because we went to the same school, but he was actually working at that time. So he just saw me walking around, saying hi to people, And then he saw me, he's like, Kumo, I want to start an organization named the Think Beyond. Now, at first I figured since, we're still young, he's just blowing smoke, because people say things and then they never see them through, But when he saw me, he didn't see a disabled man. He just saw a man with ability, to rise above the challenges. And then the very good thing about this is that our personalities were able to resonate, become one, and that way we can think above any challenges that we face. Because, to be honest, the stigma that surrounds disability is very, it's serious. Yep. Because when people see us, they just see a person that is disabled,
Sure. And you have to go the extra mile to prove to them that
everything that we do, it requires extra effort, From basic things, like when you want to go to a venue, if you want to go partying, you need to consider accessibility. And, to be honest, not everybody is very fond of us because they don't know how to respond to it, But, thanks to Think Beyond, my friend over here, Patrick, I was able to, humble myself, in a sense of mentally, spiritually, and physically to really go out there, And we've been out there, The challenges were there. But, to be honest, God is good, Once that mentality is ripe, you can actually reap, the inability to rise.
Awesome. Yeah. And when you say you guys are out there, tell us about some of the stuff that you do, the campaigns, the going to schools, orphanages, and just the kind of youth that you meet on a daily basis and even maybe via social networks, and how you get them to, switch their mindset.
South Africans are known for their happy culture. We go dancing, we like music. I'm one of those people. I'm a typical South African. I like dancing, I like partying and those other things. But at the same time, you have education that, with the words of Nelson Mandela, like the president of the country, that education is the key to your dreams and everything. So I figured, okay, how do you balance a lifestyle of one day we turn up, and then on Monday you have to be at school, or Saturday you have to study and whatever. So I figured pop culture, education, inspirational rhetoric, and engaging with people that actually are really inspirational. Because it's one thing to motivate someone. You can say something motivational. But an inspiration is something that's constant. Being around Kumo, it's an inspiration on a daily basis. I stop complaining about the things that I used to complain about. Then when I go out, I'm like, okay, I still like to party and whatever. And I still have to balance that with my studies. Inspirational rhetoric, mix it with pop culture, and inspire the youth to stay in school. Then we ended up going to expos, because prior to what I do right now, I used to market education and stuff. So we would be there, and some of the students wouldn't take it seriously. And you're like, hey, but this is me trying to give you like a way out, but you're not taking it seriously. So we figured, okay, let's motivate these people to actually see the importance of education, and then put music in there just so that when you say, we like, boom, some education in there, or you're having fun, you're being inspired by some people. So your situation is not as bad as you think, So
and of course, when you educate in an entertaining way, the youth will obviously be more receptive to that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Earlier we saw the story of Vincent Bones. He won Idol season 10. amazing story of a guy who literally was begging on the streets, and where he is now today is so inspirational. Any stories, of kids that you meet who are doing great things as well?
On my side, it's okay. When you meet people, you wouldn't really they wouldn't tell you where they come from, because some are ashamed of where they come from, But I can tell you a story though. There's a show in the UK. It's called Dragon's Den. Now, one of the characters there, his name is Theopaphitus. Now, Theopaphitus was a man that was born from a impoverished area. At the age of 35, he has been struggling from the day he was born until the age of 35. At the age of 35, he became a billionaire.
So it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
The main thing
every day, everywhere,
Yes.
there are stories that show us that it's possible.
Think beyond. Okay,
That's it.
let's put it right there.
But before I let you guys go, actually, you guys also rap and stuff. So why don't you break down a little something for us?
Actually, he raps. I'm just,
Okay, you're the hype guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just that was hard,
Okay, so is that your way of excusing that you don't want to rap?
No.
Well, I can put it down for you, in a suit. It's cool.
Do it.
Yo, they called me a misfit, so I'ma live my life as I see fit. That's it. No time to cry over spilt milk and lost opportunities. Make moves, shake things up, create new memories. One time for your money, you know what I'm saying?
If you want more, please do give us a call. Please do give us a call.
And now they're trying to get signed up. Guys, thank you so very much for joining me on Bophelong. It's an absolute pleasure to have had you here, and continue doing the great work that you're doing.
Awesome.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Cool. Self-acceptance, a winning, positive attitude, and self-reliance are the message they want to spread to all corners of our beautiful country. After the ad break, I'm joined by a man who lives by the tenets: learn, laugh, live. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Bophelong. His mission is to equip his audiences with skills for self-motivation and goal achievement. His energetic and unorthodox presentation style has endeared him to many as an advocate and activist of purpose discovery as a key to success. Hector Modau, better known as Hector Motivator, is one of the most sought-after speakers and coaches in South Africa, and I'm so pleased that he's here with me today. Hector, welcome to Bophelong.
Thank you so much for the invite, Refugee. I'm really happy to be here today.
Awesome.
I love the name of the show, Bophelong. You give life.
Yes.
Just love it.
Awesome. And I just have to say as a start that not many men guests will come wearing a bright color like yellow for their tie, and I absolutely love it.
I believe that yellow is a color of motivation. On my social media pages, Hector Motivator, Twitter and Facebook, people always see me in a yellow tie. I've got a collection of lots of them. And I really truly believe that yellow is bright, and I believe that when I go into any environment, when people are demotivated and depressed and everything, when I walk in looking this bright, before I can say anything, I think 20% already you are motivated by just seeing a bright color, yellow,
Sure, I couldn't agree with you more. All right, so back to business.
I even have my yellow shoes, but I'm not going to wear them today. Wherever I go, I wear my yellow shoes and I do the Malinga kick, because I believe that people are just too depressed, so you got to do something extraordinary. Don't bore the audience,
And that's the thing. A lot of motivational talks that, people attend, it's very serious and it's very calm and somber, and you call yourself the motivational entertainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because entertainment is part of me. And from when I was growing up, doing the Michael Jackson moves and break dance and disco dancing and everything, and being an MC and saying things and people laughing. Some people actually say that I should go into comedy, and I tell them, I'm not a comedian, I'm just a speaker, and people just laugh at the things I say. I don't know why. But I believe it's part of my gifts, what God has given me, that I'm able to do things in an unorthodox way, like you're saying, that I don't just stand there and give a talk. There's dance, there's comedy, there's a lot of things that happen while I do what I do. And I really believe that when you do it that way, when people are happy, it's easier for them to receive the stuff that you bring to them.
Very true. I mean, so our story at the start of the show was Vincent Bones, winner of season 10 in Idols. Amazing story. And you teach principles about daring to be different and discovering your purpose. Let's talk a little bit about that.
The story of Vincent Bones, very inspirational. Thank you for that story. And I look at him, and I recently introduced him at a jazz concert where the theme was romance, Valentine's Day. And I asked him, is your surname really Bones?
Like we all wonder.
And that reminded me, his story reminded me of a biblical story about the bones, where one of the prophets was asked, can these bones live? And the bones became a huge army. And that says, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't really matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what kind of conditions you go through in life. I really believe that if you are clear about your purpose, if you discover that purpose, that thing that you were born for, and that gift that you were given. I mean, look at that young man. He was in the streets begging and all that, but there was a gift inside him. And thanks God he discovered it. And he managed to grab the attention of the country, and today he is where he is. And I believe it's in all of us.
True, I do believe that too. But here's the thing. Yes. Sometimes you actually might have talents and gifts that you discover when you are a child. But as we grow older, social conditioning and just life and things we go through, it's almost like turning down little flames that everyone has inside of us. So how do you motivate people to ignite that purpose and come out and be who they actually are?
One person, as I was still starting in the motivational speaking industry, told me that you can never motivate anyone. You can only inspire them. I think it's just semantics. I really believe that as you're saying, as we grow up, we grow up believing that we can buy a helicopter. You ask your parents, buy me that helicopter, buy me that plane. We really, truly believe it. It's not that we're joking when we are saying that. Now, how do we do that? Unfortunately, or fortunately, life has a way of actually forcing you to do that. That is why I'm saying that sometimes you don't even need Hector to come and motivate you. But people like Vincent Bones and so many other people, you get to be in a tight corner, in a position that forces you to think creatively. There's something about suffering that pushes you to success. Some people, suffering will push them to crime and say, I'm going to steal to my way to success. And they succeed, rob a bank and get something, but how long do they last? Sure. But then there are those whose suffering pushes them to say that, I better start working hard and get out of this condition. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to get up and do something with my life.
And precisely as Patrick Mashahwana and Kumo, who were just
the two gentlemen who are here, very inspirational. Think beyond your current circumstances.
Yeah.
Because in this life, you will have troubles. In this life, you will suffer, you will struggle. I don't know why suffering precedes success. But you can check any person, including Tate Motsepe. At some point in his life, any great person, they went through suffering. But suffering has a way of, it's like boiling water. It just boils here, and then, that's the only way you can get very good tea. Sure. When you pour it over that tea bag. You need not lukewarm water, but hot water. So suffering is like that. Water, brings the best out of you.
I hear you. I hear you, Hector. I hear you. So, lessons from Hector the helicopter. Let's talk about that.
You have that too?
Well.
It's a very interesting story. Even I, as a motivational speaker, I posted on my page recently that just because I'm a motivational speaker, and all other motivational speakers, I think they will confirm this, doesn't mean that I don't have my moments of feeling down,
of course,
of suffering or struggling. Actually, I believe that as motivational speakers, we are thrown the biggest punches in life. I don't know why. I've gone through a situation where I lost my vehicle. Not lost, actually it was repossessed, just to put it in proper words, kicked out of a house at some point, went through terrible situations. Sometimes I would have to go and motivate people while down inside I'm going through pain. Now, one day, it was 1997, walking through, browsing through a mall, and I see this little book, Hector the Helicopter. I thought, wow, it's yellow. Ta-da.
I've seen it. I've seen
you know,
it.
it's
Yes.
yellow
Yeah.
and it's got my name on it. So I took it and I read the story. It's a children's story about this helicopter which was feeling down because all these Boeing 747s were flying to Argentina, America, London and everywhere. But Hector the helicopter out just in a hangar or every day.
Yeah.
And then Hector the helicopter one day decided, let me just fly out of here instead of having a pity party feeling sorry for myself. And as he was flying, 2 sailors were stranded in an island. And guess who was designed, who was purposed, whose moment it was
It was
to
at that
shine.
time.
Only Hector, Hector, the helicopter, could hover over a small island, stand still, release a rope, and rescue those 2 people. Boeing 747, brilliant machine, but it cannot do that. It was not built for that. Now, when I saw that story, I used to compare myself to other guys that, ooh, I wish I was like that speaker. I wish I was like that guy over there. But then I realized that, no. We all are designed and are purposed for different things in life.
To go on
and
our
that's,
journeys.
that's the meaning of that story for me,
Yeah,
that, you know what? Don't compete with anyone. You are from a village, Komadidi. Don't compete with Vusitembekwayo or Billy Selekani and all these guys.
It's about
Focus on your purpose.
Yeah.
And that should go to everyone today. That Hector the helicopter reminds us that we shouldn't compete, we should complete this puzzle of life.
Awesome. Hector, just to wrap up.
Yes.
Dinogona. Let's talk about that and just to people to motivate them to say, listen,
Dinogona.
it is Dinogona.
Achievable.
It's achievable.
It's a Shona word. I bumped into that word while watching, because I'm always searching for inspirational stories. And then I bumped into the story of Dr. Tererai Trent from Zimbabwe. And she says that a certain motivational speaker once came into their village and told them, ladies, Dinogona. She was unemployed. She was actually herding the cattle, uneducated, and not allowed to study. The husband didn't allow her to study. At the age of early 20s, she was already having 5 kids. So her job was just to herd the cattle and make babies. But she was told, Tinogona, it's achievable. And today we are introducing her as who? Dr. Tererai Trent. Google the story. Our listeners, viewers rather, can Google the story to see for themselves. So that says to all of us today, it doesn't matter where this broadcast catches you, Tinogona. It's achievable. You can, yes.
And it's up to the person.
It's up to you. Think beyond.
Thank you.
I like the story of those young
Hector.
men who was here.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah,
it's an
you're welcome.
absolute pleasure. I'm feeling revived, energized, and everything.
I enjoyed myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, too.
As you hear from Hector Modao, the motivational entertainer, it's up to you, Dinogona. Whenever you discover your purpose, you are bound to ignite and unleash success. A simple, true formula for a life bigger than whatever obstacles you may face. A big thank you to Vincent Bones for sharing his story, and of course to Patrick and Kumo, the duo behind Think Beyond. I sincerely hope Hector Modao's words also struck a chord with you to dream big, work hard, and never, ever give up.